That's the happy intro. That's the intro we get when things are feeling good. Yeah. That's the introduction that we have when we're very jolly and all good with the way that things are going. And everything is spectacular and nice. It's not particularly the intro that we get when we're in these situations. When we're in a spot where, yet again, we're a goal up and we concede a stupid goal, and then we're a goal up again, and that's fantastic, and we concede a second stupid goal. And I had like prepared things that I had in my mind of like stuff that I'd been thinking about throughout like last night and into this morning, and I was like, cool, I'll cover this, I'll cover this, I'll cover this, I'll cover this, I'll cover this. And it's all gone because I started the stream and I immediately went, I think I'm a bit more annoyed than I was. Because I've done everything I can to be as understanding as I can with like everything. With sure, maybe someone isn't finishing this chance because they're in a situation where they're pressured by a defender and that's causing them issues. Sure. Or Meslier punches because when you're trying to catch a ball and you're under pressure, if you drop the ball, you drop it right to the feet of the attacker. And the reason that I had that line in my head throughout all of yesterday was because all season long, whenever Meslier has punched a ball, I have followed that line of you punch a ball because that's how you're coached, because that gets the ball away, and that means that you're not under threat from an attacker. And 90% of the time, 99% of the time this season, he's just punched it. And it's fine because it's gone a long way and he's clear and he's safe and it's all good. And the 1% of the time he's completely unpressured. So I'd say, yeah, sure, catch it. It'll be fine. It's perfect. It's not a problem. He tries to catch it. And somehow, some way. Oh, well, this was in my hands for a second, but actually, I've just decided to spill like the easiest catch. Those are balls where if you are at Elland Road on a match day, which is a nice situation to be in. I love being at Elland Road on a match day. It's a good time. But if you're at Elland Road on a match day and you're watching the keepers warm up, one of the main ways that they warm up is by pinging a ball in. And all the keeper has to do is catch it. And I absolutely promise you that when warming up, he caught every single one of those balls. So what the fuck happened here? How are we in a position where it's the most basic catchable cross of all time? Like, for some reason, their attackers just decided to not pressure him at all. Ironically, what the hell? I've got a bit of fluff on my collar. Ironically, if Swansea would have actually pressured Illan Meslier this time, he might have actually been able to not concede that goal because he would have punched the fucking ball. But when you're under zero pressure at all, and the ball is coming at you in a very, very predictable trajectory, and you've got both of your hands on it, I don't understand how you don't catch that ball. I don't. I can't. Tomorrow night, right, I'm playing a game of seven-a-side football for the team that I play for, starting at like 7:30, I think. And I'm in net. And I promise you that if I were to film me playing that game, I would get, at the very least, one of those balls come into me. And you know what? I'd fucking catch it. And the thing is, if you're trying to catch it and you're not certain, and you've got any issue with like holding onto it, and you know there's other players around you, you don't just go, "Oh, it's padded out. I guess I'll get it on the way down." No, you go, "Oh shit," and you push because it gets the ball away from you. I, I don't understand how that first goal can happen. I just don't. I don't at all. And I've been saying since January that it needs to not be Illan Meslier starting these games because he's just not at it anymore. Because there were times, right? There were times throughout last season and early this season where there would be mistakes and you would be looking and thinking, okay, so why has this mistake happened? Because I don't think it's constructive to go, you've made a mistake, therefore you are shit and can never play football again. Because although that is what, like, 99% of people do, I don't think it's constructive. But we're at the point where trying to be constructive is destructing the season. Is just taking things apart, and things are just gradually collapsing and falling over. And it's so tiring to just look for the reason that something has gone wrong. Because, like, with the vast majority of the things that have happened this season, I've thought, okay, what's the reason for that? And for the first goal, the reason is there is no alternative reason than it's one of the stupidest spills that I've seen a goalkeeper make ever. And it's not close. And then we got to look at the entire rest of the match, right? So I'm going to go from the start forwards. Opening the match, 30-odd seconds in, Brendan Aronson returns to club football and does so incredibly well. Like, fair play to him. Manages to get a goal, and I think scores a goal that if you are playing Nonto, he doesn't necessarily score that same goal. Because that is a goal that comes from doggedly keeping a defender under pressure and just poking a ball home in the ugliest way possible. And that worked really well. I don't think Nonto does that because that's a different style of player. And as an opening, I was thinking, oh my god, Swansea are not a good side. We can beat these with ease. And then the rest of the first half. For the rest of the first half, the main thought that I had is Ampadu's come back way too early. Because he has. I can understand why you want to get Ampadu back in, because when Ampadu was out with the side, the defence looked destructured. But point one, Ampadu wasn't playing in the defence, therefore isn't going to be bringing that defensive structure. Point two, clearly wasn't fit enough. If you want to give Ampadu minutes in this match, you start Tanaka and then bring on Ethan Ampadu with about half an hour left. That way, you're getting minutes into his legs, but the more reliable player starts. And if you don't want to start out Tanaka, and that's completely understandable, that's fine. He just came back from international duty. We've got Ilya Gruev, who is also a very good footballer. We've got two of them. We've got two spare midfielders on the bench. If it comes to it, Josh pissing Gilavogi didn't go on international duty. And I don't know if he could do a full 90 minutes, but at least he wasn't injured like 2 weeks ago. So you're taking a vastly smaller risk following that approach. But we did anyway. So we're going into half-time, we're 1-0 up. And at that point, you're thinking, that was a kind of crap game of football. But if we're in a position where all we need to do is secure the results, then I guess this is in the direction of getting a result. Which, in theory, yeah, fine. If we can win every remaining game this season 1-0, we will be promoted. And I would absolutely take that. And at halftime yesterday, I was in the process of absolutely taking that. because it's all we needed. It's all it's not all we wanted. We want to blow teams out of the water, but it's all that was necessary to get promoted. And then we get to the question that was asked by Matthew P just now. I don't know. I'm not going to do the numbers because I'm unsure. I've got no idea. About 10, maybe? If you want to be kind. 6 or 7. Might be double figures. Enough, I'd say. Too many. And we let them into the game. And at that point, I'm thinking, shit. Because that's not good. That is how you don't get promoted. Stupid mistakes like that are what will ultimately stop you from going up, because there's nothing that you can do. Nothing. Because if you've actively got someone in net that is, and this wasn't a misjudgment, this wasn't making a mistake of like thinking, what do I do now, and doing the wrong thing. This was just straight up buffoonery. This was like teaching a 9-year-old to play cricket. They're in the outfield, the softest ball possible comes to them, and they somehow spill it. This is the basics of catching. This is how you do it. But it didn't. 1-1. We've dropped 2 points at this point. And then, fair enough, I think the substitutions were a good call. I think Tanaka on for Ampadu, fine. I would have done it the other way around, but fine. Both those players getting a decent number of minutes, gets them ready for the run-in, wonderful. Second batch of subs, 70 minutes, again, fine. They weren't super creative, but they got the job done. They got the goal that they needed to. Specifically, Willie Gnonto, which I feel like a lot of people are going to go towards the argument of Gnonto needs to be the 10. Please remember Aronson also scored. Play Gnonto out wide, give one of James and Solomon a rest, and we'll be fine. Because at this point, we're 2-1 up, and it's going really well, and the time is slowly by in the 7 minutes of added time, and we're in the 95th minute, and what happens? A litany of errors. A miscontrolled touch, followed by a couple of fairly naff attempts at a challenge, followed by another shot from another really tight angle that you've got to get to. You just have to. And on this, Andy, I genuinely am at the point where I don't think I am. Because if you're talking about people that have been reacting to Illan Meslier throughout the length of the season, one quick second. Cool. But I don't at all think I am overreacting with the Meslier thing, because a goalkeeper might not peak until their early 30s. Fine. That's understandable. I know. But at the same time, there's a difference between he's not reached his peak yet and did well in the first season in the Premier League, and then and then you go down, and then you go down, and then we go down. And there's a difference between having not peaked yet and just sliding. And that's the spot we're in. Because this isn't a thing that you need to be at your peak to deal with. This is a cross came in, it was in your hands, and you didn't hold on to it. And that's happened with the whole match. It's happened now. and it keeps happening. I just... And this time, even like the copium part of my head isn't trying to go, yeah, but was there a sprinkler? Because there wasn't, because it was just all in the air. Pain. On this one, as a keeper, what's your thoughts on shots near or inside like the second? If I remember right, it was fired fairly low and like next to him. They're not easy to deal with, which is fair. Like, I can see that. And it's like, similarly, when everyone is like, it's at his near post, why didn't he save it? The near post thing is a myth. For anyone that has actually like done goalkeeping-y stuff, anyone that says any shot at your near post you need to be saving, it's embarrassing to let anything in there, bullshit. Because it's not true. Because statistically, it's about the same difficulty, near post, far post. But I think by this point it was a case of we've seen the best of Meslier in this match, which is genuinely very nice penalty save. And for, I think it was the shot immediately before that, I know that I was thinking, and I know that before he dropped it, that is, I know that I was thinking, I know that Matty of Imagine Not Being Leeds said it. I know that other people were also saying it because thanks to the charity match, we're all in a big group chat now, that a lot of folks were like, Meslier might be the man of the match here. And then within 30 fucking seconds, he showed us the best of him and the worst of him in such a slim amount of time. It just makes it difficult, I think. Yeah, they're not easy saves, though. But I think by that point, everyone was in a position of just being a bit done with it. A bit like, we can't. Based on what went wrong, it's hard to say that he was unlucky to have not done that right, because we'd seen what can go wrong. Players make a different edges depending on their positions. That's true, yeah, but it's more a case of this isn't an issue of not peaking yet. This is an issue of just clearly regressing. Said in the game, I don't get it. Saves a pen which Darlow wouldn't. Save before the corner, Darlow wouldn't make. Then the two that he concedes are so simple. I've not seen the second one back just because I refuse to. Because I cannot do it to myself to watch that second concession again. But the first one is such a stupid one. I cannot get past that. As you can tell by the fact that I keep trying to get onto other bits of conversation and then keep returning to it. Because it's just awful. I don't know if the league that I play in allows me to like whack a GoPro in my net or anything like that. But if I did, for the game I played tomorrow, I'm going to catch that same ball. And this is with gloves that are significantly less expensive than Meslier's gloves. That are significantly less tacky. That I'm using for like the 12th time, rather than him using his for like the second, because it's like gloves get like 3 uses in the professional game. Or something stupid like that. There is this as well. Throughout the entire first half, we just couldn't put a passage of play together. We would receive the ball, look for a pass, try and play a pass, and then it would be a yard or two stray, which would either A, slow us down, or B, just throw away possession. Which ain't quite good enough. Hi Joe, how are you? Never been a big fan of Fark. I can't stand him, never rated him. I wanted Nuno before Fark was aware for us. Now we're not going anywhere under him. Yeah, but at the same time, Nuno wasn't especially like fantastic when he was before being at Forest right now. So it's a question of like the positions that various people are in when they made these decisions, and I can understand not signing Nuno at that point. Like at the same time, the club were this close to getting Arne Slot in, and then there was fan backlash, and we didn't get Arne Slot. And look at what Arne Slot's doing right now. So I think this is a spot where it's quite hard for the fans as a concept to say you did a stupid when it came to the manager, because at the same time we're still second. But it's hard to say that like it was a bad managerial signing when at the same time we were like, let's not get Arne Slot, and now he's about to win a Premier League. Annoying. I was wondering if the owners will force him to play Darlow. This is the thing, right? Because I think at the same time we're in such a weird, confusing spot where you've got 7 matches left of the season, and you don't necessarily want to piss about with unknowns at that stage. It's like when people are saying we need to get Harry Gray or Sam Chambers in. We've got 7 matches left this season. You don't experiment now. And whilst, yeah, sure, I've been saying since fucking January that I think Darlow is probably the better option at this point. He's not been used to this point, and is it too late to make the change? I don't know, is the problem. The same reason that everyone's like, if we don't beat... Who's next? If we don't beat Luton, you got to sack Farke. And do what? Because that's at least 1 match of a caretaker, because the game after Saturday is on Tuesday. At which point you may have effectively just thrown away the Borough match. And then you're getting someone new in, and in the most important part of a season, the most important part of the last 2 seasons combined, you're trying to teach all the players a new approach, a new mentality, a new tactical system, everything from scratch. And that doesn't fix things either. So we're in such a weird little slot here where even the people that are like, we need to get Daniel Farke sacked, he's ruining us, are surely also looking at the situation and going, yeah, but what happens if we do that? Because if we do that, then at the same time, we've got to teach entire new tactical systems. But I'm also in this position. Like the argument behind blaming Daniel Farke is presumably he picks Illan Meslier. But he's not had any big howlers relatively recently, and to be fair to him, up until the 60th minute, was it the 60th? I don't particularly care about the specific time, but up until that first goal, he'd been having a ridiculously good match. And then all that goodwill gets thrown away. All of it. Which is annoying. Our third choice is Cairns. It is, yeah. I'd replace Meslier with Palmer and somewhere. Who's Palmer? The only Palmer I can think right now is either Cole or Casey, and I think Casey Palmer's a midfielder, isn't he? From West Brom. What's his first name? I don't know. We'll just go with Palmer. Doesn't matter. As a Sunderland fan, it's astounding to me that Leeds still have... Yep, same. I have not wanted him in net since January. So Alex Palmer, right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've not wanted him in net since like January. But I've been in a position where, like, if it's not going to change, then I'm not going to get on anyone's back about it because it's not going to improve anything or change anything. Which is irritating. I hate seeing Joe like this has been defending Meslier most of the season. I was defending the specific, like, actions and stuff before January. And then since January, I've basically been in a position of the decision's been made now. It's not going to change. Screw it. We'll see what happens. And what happens is we keep making silly mistakes and it goes bad, which is unfun. Luton away, London, early kickoff. Aronson starting, no doubt. Melly as well. I don't see the issue with starting Aronson, though, because I think Aronson was genuinely not that bad in the match yesterday. Like, he did score a goal that if that first goal doesn't happen, I am convinced is the winner. And Jimmy Paddy, no, we did not. Everyone wanted us to, but it didn't happen, which is a fun place to be. But we're in this silly little, like, catch-22 situation now, right? In which, as Wayne says, sacking Farker at this point just have a negative impact on the players and the club as a whole. So we're now fully invested in this because it's too late to change anything. The only things that you can change are changeable by the manager, and whether or not he does is another big question. And if he does, very happy with that. It would be very, very nice. If he doesn't, then it's gambling a bit. Then it's in the wind. It's a question. Could have gotten assist with that run across to Peru. I'm not having the Peru conversation right now. You all know my opinions on Joel Peru. In that I don't think he's a 10 and I don't think he's a 9, which makes him one of the most frustrating players on a football pitch at any one time. That's a good way to phrase it, right? The ideal centre forward is an assault rifle that is very manoeuvrable, but can still get that right shot off that gets the job done whenever you need it. Peru is a World War I artillery piece that you need to spend about 30 minutes wheeling into the right position. You need to line up a shot for an extended period of time. And eventually, once you've got the shot lined up and everything works out right and the fucking moon is in Libra or something, then he can have a go and score. Because once he has lined up that shot and once he fires that shot, it's going to go in. As we saw in, was it Sheffield United that we beat 3-1 or Sunderland? Either way, as we saw in the match that we won 3-1, he can just hit it really hard and it goes in. But he's never going to be the one that's agile enough to get on the end of a cross. He's not going to be fast enough to be in the 6-yard box when the ball comes in. He's not a 9. And that's what's frustrating to me. Because we could really do with one of those. It would be really nice. Thank you very much, by the way, Manchester is Blue, for becoming a member. I'm going to do some shilling for a moment, if that's okay, guys. Because any revenue that is raised by the YouTube channel, by the stuff that I'm doing with Match Bingo, everything, is going to the charity match on the 20th of July. ticket information will be coming soon about that. It was meant to be coming sooner, but that happens. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, you'll ultimately be supporting the charity match, which is supporting Prostate Cancer UK, and that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much, guys. By that knowledge, Aronson's a spud gun. No, different. Okay. Aronson is when you're in a Bond film and he's been given like a lighter that's actually a pistol or something stupid like that. You might not expect them to get the kill shot away, but from time to time, they will. And it'll have to be from a fairly close range because that thing ain't the sniper rifle that you want. But it's going to do the thing for you from time to time, as we saw when he scored yesterday. But unironically, yes. Unironically, you know that I agree. Because the problem is he misses a lot of chances. But the only reason he misses those chances is at least he's on the end of those chances. You know who isn't on the end of those chances? Joel Piroux. I think Solomon needs a rest as well. Having Firpo in from the start in the next match will definitely be a bonus as well, because you could tell that we weren't really getting things done down the left as we like to when we've got Junior Firpo, which is a shame, but would take Patterson at Leeds? Probably. Just a new goalkeeper. Because I'm at the point where, like, anyone that is a long-term viewer will know that I've been quite invested in this might work out. This hasn't worked out. And it is probably time to change it. Which is annoying. But this is wrong. This isn't true. Because you can say it's certain promotion failure. It's not. Because bringing in someone temporarily, as I've run through, is you would be throwing away the Luton match because you would be looking for you would be having a caretaker manager. You'd probably throw away the... No, hold on. I'm basing this on if we lost the Luton match. So if we lose to Luton, you're getting rid of Daniel Farker. You're not going to sign a new manager within 3 days, so you're at least losing Borough. If you want to do some actual due diligence on a manager, you're probably also losing Preston. And then you've got 6 days-ish to get the new tactical mentality, the new approach, and everything in place before Oxford. And then you've got another 3 days, and then Stoke. And then you've got another 5 days, and then it's Bristol. And then you've got 1 week till the end of the season. The speed of the turnarounds mean that you cannot just get rid of a manager at this point in a season. Remember what happened a few years ago when Spurs were in the Carabao Cup final? And like a week before the Carabao Cup final, they sacked Jose Mourinho. And then they proceeded to lose that Carabao Cup final because no one knew what they were meant to be doing. Guess who's not won silverware since? Spurs. And yeah, if it does fail this season, it is. Absolutely. It's not failed yet. That's where I'm sitting on it. Because it is far, far too late to change that. Don't get me started on Marshall block me. You know me, I don't... I've got very, very firm rules for if and when I block people, which is essentially, have you been abusive or have you been discriminatory? If yes, off you go. Not for disagreeing, though. Not worth it. Joe, you've limited your thoughts to what Farker might do. What are you even talking about, Easy B? I don't... You know why my thoughts are limited to what Daniel Farke might do? Because that's the manager that we have. That's the manager that's here at the minute, and let's be honest with ourselves, that's the manager that will not be sacked by the 49ers before the end of the season. That's why you've got to keep your thoughts within that, because that's a realistic prospect of what might actually happen here. This is a good point as well, right? Sunderland sacked Mowbray in December of 2023 and took them till late June to get Reggie Labrie, as a manager search has to be in line with the board vision and transfer vision. The issue here is that board vision doesn't exist. Because Kinnear isn't going to be here. So that part of the board isn't here. In addition to that, Hammond isn't going to be here. So what board, what vision are you going to be signing a new manager on? You're not. And there is also this bit, right? Last season, there were 4 teams that were doing really, really well all season long. And it is a 3-way this time. Like, at the end of the day, 2 out of 3 teams are going to get promoted, which is fine. It's better odds than last season. And I think we're in a better position than last season. But we really need to win against Luton to get it done. Don't win against Luton and things are bad. Do win against Luton, fantastic. Can be very happy with that. But yeah, I think the steps for Luton. You drop Meslier. Makes sense. Play Nonto instead of one of the wingers. Don't know about Ramazani. Aronson probably starts. Yeah, sod it. Nonto, Ramazani on your wings. Then you got James to come off the bench and Solomon to come off the bench. Firpo back in. Don't know on Ampadu. That's a good question. Stressful. I don't think Sunderland catches. I don't think so. Could all change, win at Luton and Burnley still at Coventry. This is the thing, right? Because Burnley do still have to play against Coventry, who admittedly looked awful against Sheffield United. But at the same time, Burnley also need to play against Sheffield United, which is pretty good for us. It's annoying. Wayne, this is a funny one because you've managed to say this in the one chat where, and the chat will back me up on the fact that I've said this many a time. We don't know as much as a manager, but we can have opinions on it. Like the reason that most of the time I've not like complained that X, Y, or Z player isn't being picked. The reason that I've never said why isn't Isaac Schmidt playing or anything along those lines is because I don't see training. I watch these players for 90 minutes a week. Farke watches them for, I don't know, how long are you training a day? A couple of hours? Farke sees them for about 15. This is why I'm never in a position where it's like, we need to play Schmidt, or Ramazani is complaining that he's not getting minutes, because I don't fucking know that. But what I do know is what has been seen on a football pitch. And what has been seen on a football pitch is a routine catch being dropped at the feet of a centre forward too many times. Too many times. Who knows? Anyway. I'm going to end the stream at about 45 minutes, but I'm going to take us over to Questions Corner first. So if anyone's got any questions about anything, just let me know. Just pop your questions in the chat and we can have a little bit of a discussion about it. But welcome, folks. Today we have witnessed Broken Joe. Because Jesus Christ. And yeah, we also don't know what the manager's telling a player to do and judging them on those parameters. This is true. Yeah. How's your hair so majestic? Oh, thank you. My hair is so majestic because I got it cut like 2 days ago. But normally I get it so it's a bit shorter on top and the sides are also short. So normally it's the same as this, which is like that. But the top is also like a reasonably short length. This time they barely touch the top. So it is in a position where the sides are nice and short, but the top is just a little bit wacky doodle, which is nice. I like it. Any news on the charity game? Not that I can tell you yet. Ha 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 ha. No. I'm trying to think of what I can and can't say. It's tricky. There is a thing. There is the thing that I can say. So for the charity match, we have a merch partner now, which is great. Said merch partner is a very, very good shop that does very, very good things, including having worked with Joe Wainman, Connor, all sorts in the past. And all of the profit from the apparel that is going to be on this site is going into the pot for Prostate Cancer UK. So if you head over to back4.shop/collections/ the Leeds Creator Cup, you can see all kinds of stuff. So if I just share my screen, where are we? There we are. Cool. So we not only have a bunch of logo bits, such as the Creator Cup Crest tee and the Creator Cup Crest hoodie, which is available if you go into it in multiple different colours. So you've got royal blue, you've got black, you've got a navy blue, you've got a white, all very, very nice. But Gav, who is a fantastic guy, created a bunch of like specific posters as well, which is like fantastic. Very good dude. I mean, I take the poster as a hoodie. That might be worth suggesting. I'm going to suggest that. It's a good call. Can you give me a footballer for an edit? Meslier. Do it. I dare you. But that is the thing that I'm allowed to tell you now. Yeah, on this, I'll see if I can ask. I don't know if there's limits on that because the design might go over the pocket, which is a bit of a problem for a hoodie. But I'll see if it's doable. Yes, we're collecting donations on the day. Fun additional fact. This might take a moment. Prostate Cancer UK gave us a little cash bucket, which is nice. So we'll have those available on the day, and we will also have Just Giving links ready. But I am very deliberately not releasing the Just Giving link yet until we've released tickets, because we don't want people putting money in a Just Giving and going, this is effectively the same as a ticket, because it's not, because I need to keep track of numbers and all that kind of thing. So yeah. Can you remember a good crossover shot by Solomon yesterday? I remember a fairly nice ball into Byron. Off the top of my head, I think he did a decent ball square at one point from the left, but I can't. I'll be honest. The majority of that match I have blanked out of my mind by this point. Also, I think I've got a little bit of a spot on my arm and it's really hurting. So that's fun. Are most creators booked into the same hotel? I don't know, because most creators live in or around Leeds anyway. So that's not really going to be a problem. It's a case of show up on the day, and then it's fine. Don't know where Joe's staying. Don't know where only Leeds bros will be staying. I don't know where, and this is an exclusive, Crystal is going to be helping out, is staying. She's not going to be helping out in terms of playing, but she is basically for one of the sponsorship packages. We've still got a couple of those left, by the way, so if anyone has an interest in sponsoring the event from like a company perspective, email leedscreatorcup@outlook.com. She's helping out with one or two of those things, and I was like, if you want, you can be here in person. And she was like, what? I can? And it was like, yeah, cool. What's happening now? So, yeah, I don't know where lots of people are staying, but we'll see. The mood will all change when we beat Luton. I hope so. Because that would really help things. JTKG, Hollywood, Whitesnake. So, Whitesnake is... he made a joke on Jer's watch along yesterday that he would do so by video link, which is exciting. Hollywood, I don't know where he's staying. KG, I again have emailed him, I've DM'd him, and he's not gotten back to me. JT, I don't know where he'll be staying, but they'll work it out. I've not got anything from Morrison's either, which is a shame, but it's fine. On paper, was yesterday's game the easy set the remaining? No, not all. For me, that's maybe Luton. Luton are in a horrific spot at the minute. And we can make it worse for them, or we can make it worse for us, and there isn't really a middle ground. Call back in and see him. Okie dokie, that's all good, Danny. I like JT as golden retriever energy. I kind of see that, yeah. Anyway, I've streamed for a little bit longer than I intended. So, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, pop a like on it, subscribe. You could even become a channel member if you want. It's 99p for a month. You get a bunch of videos early. And you will be really helping out Prostate Cancer UK, which is also spectacular. So, hope you enjoyed. And I will see you. Elland back. I'm not touching that one. But I think he's got me blocked on like 4 different platforms. So let's call that an absolutely not. So I'll see you later. Toodaloo.